All in this motherfucker. What's the word, people? This is fucked up. Trying to get my shit straight, but what's the word, people? Man, I didn't even know. This shit crazy. I didn't even know what I was gonna do tonight, but it presented itself to me. Thanks to the shit I'm going through. Unbelievable. So, I've been going live a lot more. People have been subscribing to my page a lot more. YouTube been recommending me a lot more. I swear to God. I swear to God. All my equipment is fucking up right now. This is literally why I'm doing this motherfucking video, because if it ain't one thing, it's another. It's like I said, I didn't even know what content I was gonna do tonight, but I'm sitting there fucking around with my computer. What up, family? I'm sitting there fucking with my computer, and my computer is fucking up left and right. Like, I was in the middle of a live stream. I don't know who was watching the live stream. If you was watching the live stream earlier, you probably saw it. And then, like, I streamed all day, no problem. But then as soon as the video, you know what I'm saying, the reality show went off, and I started streaming the shit on Agent Smith, whole fucking computer shut down. And I don't mean just shut down, I'm talking blue screen of death, everything. Like, that motherfucker shut down. Like, the whole computer shut down. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, like, I'm sitting there, I can shoot. I mean, I can play the reality show shit all day, but then as soon as I put on some shit about Agent Smith, the computer start fucking up. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, man. And mind you, like, I really don't do too much content on Agent Smith. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like Pomo's department. You know what I'm saying? My department is more, obviously, astrology, zodiac, elements, shit like that. But today, like, Smith was just at me, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to do some content on Smith. So, I'm saying, that's what I'm getting into. I really do not think today was going to be long at all. You see what I'm saying? It's a lot of content on Agent Smith already on hoodx.com. You know what I'm saying? You can look it up. We've done talk shows on this several times. You know what I'm saying? But Smith don't be going nowhere. And they're like, this is just some shit that you can never really fully master. And then, like, you kind of start to see it, you expect it, but, like, it never really goes away. So that's why I really wanted to just kind of blow back on this today real quick, break it down, because it also, we were talking about like the astrology videos I was doing. Well, not astrology really. I mean, technically the tarot cards I've been doing for the past couple of days. When we think about that, we want to think about the triggers that turns people into these cards. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people ask me, how do I separate my friends from their astrological zodiac? How do I separate that? This is exactly how I separate it through Agent Smith. In that Smith is like the ego. It's kind of like who you turn into when you fall into your cards. When you can't transcend your cards, you turn into Agent Smith. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and not just that, but also, like, it's shit that happened during the day that'll push you in that direction, like, based on your triggers. And you know what I'm saying? If you're an earth sign, you might lose some money. You a fire sign, somebody might talk some shit to you or something. You a water sign, somebody gonna fuck with your emotions. You know what I'm saying? If you an air sign, somebody gonna fuck with the communication, or somebody's communication gonna get fucked up. Or for example, like when I was going through the computer be fucking up. electronics be fucking up, backfiring on your ass. Well, yeah, then yeah, that's a trigger for air signs. You know what I'm saying? But Agent Smith is like, I had a documentary I was playing earlier. You know what I'm saying? That I guess I could. It's really not that long. It kind of break down like, if you ever seen this movie of Justin Bieber, like this what's it? This movie here, the one that's blinking right now. If you've ever seen this movie of Justin Bieber, you need to watch it, because like this is kind of the essence of what I'm talking about. Is this shit right here? This movie it had Matt Damon in it. You know what I'm saying? And he was. This is a must-watch movie for the, you know what I'm saying, if you on my channel. If you ain't hip to 123movies.org, you know what I'm saying, it's a real good movie to watch. You can watch a lot of free movies right on 123movies.org. You probably find this movie on there. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure you close the make sure you close the ads and shit that pop up. But this movie, you know what I'm saying, it's a must watch. A lot of people slept on this movie. You know what I'm saying? Because it's got the same shit with Smith. And then, like, it was these unseen, kind of like, I don't want to say angels, but they was like, what's the word? Like, they kind of, I don't want to say demigods, but they was like agents, basically. They was agents. They was literally agents. They was like what Smith is. You know what I'm saying? And they was keeping this guy's life on path. He had a specific fate, a specific destiny that he was supposed to go down, and they were guiding him down this path. And he was making decisions that was going against this path, and it was their jobs to guide him back on the path. Without him even knowing, he had no idea that they were even guiding his path. You know, they was like, what happened was, he had a black agent. The agent that was assigned to him was a black agent. And he ended up falling asleep one day when he was supposed to be watching Matt Damon, you know, and they ended up fucking up. So, like, Matt Damon was supposed to miss a bus one day, but he ended up catching the bus because the agent fell asleep. So, next thing you know, because Matt Damon caught that bus, he met this girl on the bus, and his whole life started to take a whole different direction. But he was destined to become president of the United States. But because he met this girl, you know, he was gonna lose his destiny, but he wasn't gonna become president. He was gonna fall in love with this girl. You know what I'm saying? But you know, come to find out, he wasn't gonna lose just his dreams. She was gonna lose her dreams too. You know what I'm saying? So but the shit that they were doing to guide this path was like fucking absurd. Like, they were literally doing everything, putting everything in his path to stop him from meeting this girl. And then it even came to a point where, like, they had to come forward and they were like, look, man, you know, we got to level with you. We're going to tell you the truth. Like, you know what I'm saying? We are like invisible agents. We live in an invisible world, and you're on a path to become something really great, but one of our agents basically fucked up your life path, and now you moving in a whole different life path, and we need to get you back on course. Like, they came out and told him, like, in the raw. You see what I'm saying? And he was like, nah, I don't think I'm a, you know what I'm saying? He was like, I don't want to go down the path that y'all trying to take me down. So they basically started to change the reality that he was living in. You know what I'm saying? And this is the essence of Smith. And that, like, if you watch the movie The Matrix, you gotta remember The Matrix was written by a woman named Sophia Stewart, who studied metaphysics. The same stuff that I'll be promoting on this channel. Like Arsette, the name of this channel is Arsette, which is a word for comedics. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of the same, but she kind of sees life she's the reason I see life the way I see life. And that a lot of people didn't understand the Matrix when it came out. You know what I'm saying? And it's been so many interpretations of the Matrix that you know, when people begin to interpret the Matrix, that a lot of people's brain has been through that so many times that it's calcified, and that like there's really no more room for breaking down the Matrix. You see what I'm saying, in people's head. But like, if you really understand the true nature of what the Matrix was really written about, you know what I'm saying, it was written from a state of metaphysics by this black woman. You see what I'm saying? Hollywood took it and changed it around, and then like a lot of people don't know Will Smith was actually supposed to be Neo. You know what I'm saying? But he ended up turning it down to do Wild Wild West. You know what I'm saying? Which flopped. You know what I'm saying? But originally, Neo was supposed to be a black man. And you know what I'm saying? Morpheus was a black man. So it's supposed to be a black man putting another black man onto the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? But what happened was, like I said, Will Smith ended up doing Wild Wild West, and they put a white dude in there. They put Keanu Reeves in there because he had a blank face. He looked more, he has a digital face. They put him in there instead of Will Smith. So it kind of threw the whole point off of what you was looking at. And then like, if you would have saw Agent Smith, this white dude with sunglasses, literally like jumping from body to body, trying to take over, you see what I'm saying, you know, take over all these bodies, and you had Will Smith as a black man fighting, you see what I'm saying, this Agent Smith, you kind of would have seen what Sophia Stewart was describing. You would have seen it a little bit more you would have seen it would have been a lot more satirized in your subconscious. You see what I'm saying? But you kind of missed it because it was a white dude. You see what I'm saying? But if you take the same movie, The Matrix, and replace it with a black dude, it was really you, Neo. You know, and you kind of start to see that what Smith really represented, which was if you subscribe to my channel already, you already kind of woke. So you obviously see like Smith basically putting people back to sleep, and like the way that comedics really work, when you understand comedics, you understand what she was trying to describe, and that like Neo was one, which was you know, and Smith was basically like zero, you know what I'm saying, and that it's like everybody else. And like when I move through life on a day-to-day basis, you know what I'm saying, when I see chaos unfold, when I see, you know what I'm saying, people that sleep who ain't got no consciousness, you know what I'm saying, I see Smith. I don't see them per se. Like I literally see what the Matrix showing. I see Smith, like, and it's literally jumping from body to body, and like sometimes it'll try to get in me, sometimes it do get in me, you know what I'm saying, I get irritated to the point, you know what I'm saying, where the shit will take over. You know what I'm saying? What will take over? Frustration. You know what I'm saying? My lower self-energy. When I get pissed off, and my energy will be off. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody be wasting my time, or because I be trying to sit there and do the computer. You know what I'm saying? Trying to go live, and the computer be fucking up. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be like, fuck! And like, it'll throw off the whole energy in the house, and my dogs be looking at me crazy, and my wifey and my kids will be looking at me like I'm crazy because my energy's fucked up, because it's my lower self is rooted in time and communication. You know what I'm saying? But say, for example, you know, like a lot of people talk shit on my channel, you know what I'm saying, it don't bother me at all. You know what I'm saying? Where if I may be a fire sign or something like that, I might take it a little bit more personal. If I was a water sign, I might take it a little bit more personal, because they about emotions and challenge. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like me, it's not necessarily a bigger trigger, but to them, that might be a bigger trigger. So that's going to set them into their Smith mode. You know what I'm saying? And like, you kind of see how the things I've been talking about for the past couple of days with the tarot cards and stuff like that, it literally forces you to turn into Smith. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why you see Smith literally everywhere, because when people don't know, you know what I'm saying, that this is just their lower self, they are literally Smith. They are literally caught in the adjustment bureau. They're literally like on the path that has already been kind of the groove of life that's already been kind of dug for them for them to, like a rat in a maze, basically. You know what I'm saying? To move through this path that's already been carved for you, unless you wake up and become aware of your own patterns, and you kind of wake up. That's what the Matrix was. Like, he woke up out of this dream that he was in. You know what I'm saying? And the job of Smith is to put you back to sleep. You know what I'm saying? That's his job. And you see Smith everywhere you go. You also see this too, like in the movie, there was a movie called what is the name of that movie? Oh man, it's right on the tip of my tongue. It was a movie with Roddy Piper where they had these sunglasses. What the fuck is the name of that movie, man? And he could when he took the sunglasses off, he saw basically like what you would look at as called the Matrix. But then, you know what I'm saying, when he put them on, They Live. That's what it's called, They Live. There's a movie called They Live. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of the same shit. And then, like, you know, the unseen world. It was an unseen world, basically, that that you can't see unless your eyes been trained to see it. You know what I'm saying? And behind on the other side of these sunglasses, it was these people that had like these demon faces and shit like that. And like they knew like a big secret that like nobody knew, and that like the world was run by these alien looking creatures thing. You see what I'm saying? It was kind of the same notion when we were dealing with Smith, and that like all these people were ruled by greed. They were ruled by like money and stuff like that. It was basically like the Matrix before the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? It was done with sunglasses instead of them going to sleep. You know what I'm saying? It's been a lot of movies that they put out that try to describe these same concepts, and that like how, you know what I'm saying, when you rule by your lower self and you're unaware, and there's a connection of people that, you know what I'm saying, I mean there's a conspiracy to keep people asleep and to keep people in a lower state and to keep people at lower vibrations and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And you see it in the airways, you see it in the TV and the programming, and how you're saying your family, you know what I'm saying, if you got people in your family, how they may not be woke and they be trying to put you back to sleep and shit like that. And it's like Smith literally is you know, grabbing a hold of these people and making them fucking, you know what I'm saying, go back to sleep and to go back into the Matrix and have the subconscious of Agent Smith, what you see, like this white dude, you know what I'm saying? And then like you think of a black woman, you know what I'm saying, as Agent Smith, it really don't make sense, like logically when you think of it. You be like, Agent Smith is a white dude, you know what I'm saying? But you be like, well, you know what I'm saying, it's possible for a woman, a black woman, to be Smith. You be like, how the fuck is that even possible? Because like the symbol of Smith is really what it's a subconscious mind, it's a mental thing, and that like you are literally becoming the mind of this white dude, you know what I'm saying, in America, the American ego. You know, his job is to get you that. You know what I'm saying? If you're a black man, to think like this white dude, to think like Agent Smith. You know, to take your mind, which is really comedics, to take your original mind and replace it with this dude. You know what I'm saying? Since you don't know yourself. Yeah, there's another movie called, well, let me see if I can do this up. You know what I'm saying? There's a Smith movie. Smith is fucking smart as fuck too, man. Like Smith ruthless, and that like he go after your direct chambers every time, just to think just as soon as you think you know everything. You know what I'm saying? He come at you in a way like he's saying this is a movie called Fallen with Denzel Washington. I don't know if you ever seen this. You know what I'm saying? But it was kind of the same shit. And then, like he told Denzel, he was like, remind you, this one they actually had a black man as the main character. You know what I'm saying? And that Azazel, who was basically what we call Smith from the Matrix. In this movie was called Azazel. He was jumping from body to body, like he would touch you and he would jump from body to body. And he was trying to fuck with. He couldn't get inside of Denzel's character here. So what he did, he got in his family. He started fucking with his family. He started to jump in his son. He jumped in his friends and total strangers on the street and tried to kill him. So, you know what I'm saying, Denzel was forced to kill like just random people on the street, and there really wasn't shit he could even do about it. You know what I'm saying? And then even after you would kill him, you know, Azazel would still just jump to a whole nother body. So when he started realizing, like on the surface it looked crazy. Like if you didn't understand, if you was an outsider looking in, you would see Denzel just kind of going crazy, just fighting all these entities that you're just fighting random people. But like Denzel knew that like it was really just one entity jumping from person to person. So it was like, how the fuck you gonna fight that? How you gonna fight something that you can't even see? You know what I'm saying? And this same theme tears directly into what I'm talking about on this channel, and that you know the way that the world is set up, the way that the unseen, the metaphysics things is set up, is to push you into, you know, negative energy. Like even like when you go do workouts and shit like that, you doing push-ups and sit-ups, and like the burn that you get, it's like stop. Or like even you may wake up not even want to go work out. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, every day you wake up more like, you know what I'm saying, you're not gonna work out until you get into that rhythm of working out every day, and you be like, okay, like cool, I'm going. But like them first couple days when you start working out, your body be sore as hell. Like you be like, man, fuck this shit. I am not doing this shit. I'm done. That's Smith. You know what I'm saying? Because if you can't get past that right there, like if you can't shut that voice off, you know what I'm saying? That's Smith. Like Smith be right there in Islam, they call him the jinn, the whispering jinn. They whisper shit in your ear and then they disappear, like they never was there. So like when you hear that voice telling you, man, I'm too tired, I ain't gonna work out today. Fuck that, I ain't do. You know what I'm saying? Until you get rid of that voice, Smith gonna be right there with you because you're gonna be irritated. You're gonna be second guessing yourself. You're gonna be reactive instead of proactive. You're gonna be like, you know what I'm saying? You're not in an alpha state. You're in a beta, almost even a C state, which is called gamel in Hebrew, which is comfort. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Smith kind of do. He push you back into your comfort zone and just keep you in the matrix. You know what I'm saying? Put you back to sleep, get you some food, get you some sex. You know what I'm saying? Get you some lower energy music, lower vibrational music, maybe some porn, maybe some bad food, like some fucking fattening ass food, like with a fucking burger or motherfucking bacon or motherfucking bacon burger, you know what I'm saying? Some motherfucking pork chops, some shit that's gonna put you directly to sleep, give you some beer, some liquor, and you straight. That's all Smith's vibration, you know what I'm saying? As far as in the world that we living in, you know what I'm saying? The more higher up in degrees you go, you start to see Smith take different forms into, you know what I'm saying? All type of forms, man, even physical forms. Motherfucking people even, you know what I'm saying? It can even get physical. You know what I'm saying? When you really start to raise your vibration to the point where, you got homeless people running up on you in the street, and you know what I'm saying? Especially on Friday, you see this shit really on Friday more than any other day. You know what I'm saying? Where, you know what I'm saying, bums or crackheads or just even random, you get random phone calls from your ex that you ain't spoke to in a long ass time, or you get a call from a friend that you was trying to get away from, and all of a sudden these motherfuckers call you up and you don't want to be bothered with them, you know what I'm saying, and to the point where it can even lead to physical altercations and shit like that, or you know what I'm saying, like, especially on Friday, because like Smith ruled through desperation and shit like that. So like you might get into 2-3 different altercations on a Friday. You know what I'm saying? It's literally, that's what you see this shit in Denzel. It's literally like jumping from person. Smith literally jumps from person to person, and like that's why you see Fridays, ambulances and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? More on Friday than any other day. Picking up people outside the club, taking them to the motherfucking hospital and shit like that because they be all fucked up. You know what I'm saying? This happened more day on Friday. You think about the traffic be fucked up on Friday. You know what I'm saying? People hollering at each other, people in a rush. So it's more likely for somebody to jump into their lower nature, you know what I'm saying, on Friday than any other day. So you see the motherfucking agents, like how you see, you know what I'm saying, in this picture here, this shit. You know what I'm saying? This is how I look on Friday. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody be motherfucking Smith. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no turning that shit off. It's like whoever is not woke, whoever ain't done their inner work. You know what I'm saying? On Friday, this is what everybody turning to. That's also too. Like if you look at there was a TV show. I don't know if y'all watched the Boondocks. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Huey, who's like the main character on Boondocks. You know what I'm saying, had this dude used to follow around, he called himself the White Shadow. You know what I'm saying, which was this dude. Let me turn this, move this over here. This dude's name was the White Shadow. You know what I'm saying? And he was it was kind of the same thing. He was a figment of Huey's imagination. And then like he knew everything about Huey, he could disappear. You know what I'm saying? He would jump from he could jump from body to body. And it got to a point though, you know what I'm saying, where Huey kept asking me, like, what do you want? Why are you following me? But then the White Shadow, aka Smith, started to work for Huey, and then like he started to keep Huey on his toes. He started giving him information, and then like, you know what I'm saying, and that's eventually what happened with Smith. And then like once you stop seeing Smith as it's like somebody's fucking with you, and then like he ain't trying to kill you per se. You go back to Adjustment Bureau, he's trying to keep you on a certain path. It's like your uncle, you know what I'm saying? It's like your uncle punch you in your chest as a kid, you know what I'm saying? If you're a boy, you'll say to keep you tough, keep you on your square. You know what I'm saying? He ain't trying to kill you, it's like initiation, you know what I'm saying? So after a while, you start to understand Smith, you start to understand the irony of it, you start to laugh. Like at first you be pissed off, you know what I'm saying? Then first you be pissed, then you go crazy, then you start to laugh, you know what I'm saying? And then when you start to laugh, you start to see how Smith worked for you, you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what we get from White Shadow. And then like, you know what I'm saying, Smith kind of turned from Smith into White Shadow. And then like, you know what I'm saying, when you outside the club and you outside talking to somebody and you look out the corner of your eye and you see the crackhead kind of take 2 steps towards you, you know what I'm saying, you know it's Friday and you like, okay, well, You know what I'm saying? White Shadow gonna tell you like, hey man, you know what I'm saying, you might want to fuck about it because shit about to kick off. And like, you know what I'm saying, you kind of start to see situations kick off before they kick off because you know the signs. You know what I'm saying? When you see, you know what I'm saying, your homie pull up in a car with the fucking bullet hole in the motherfucking side of the shit and this weed smoke, you know what I'm saying, blowing out the motherfucking window. You know what I'm saying? He got the loud ass music coming in, blasting, and he got a motherfucking gun on his motherfucking lap. And he said, man, hop in, you know what I'm saying? I need to holler at you real quick. You know what I'm saying? You kind of look at the situation. You know what I'm saying? When you ain't done the math, you ain't done the inner work, you gonna hop right in the car without even taking no second guess. You see what I'm saying? But when you study the knowledge, you see what I'm saying? You know this shit, you be like, okay, wait, hell no, I ain't gonna do that shit because the White Shadow gonna tell your motherfucking ass like, man, come on, man, you see what the fuck this is? That's Smith. That ain't even him sitting there. That's Smith. You don't even see, you know, your boy no more. You don't see people fucking with you no more. You just see the same motherfucker you see Smith. Literally just jumping from body to body. You know what I'm saying? So White Shadow, you know what I'm saying? Once we had this concept, you say Smith worked for me. Smith worked for you. You know what I'm saying? So after a while, you know, when you go through so many negative patterns that, you know what I'm saying, when the wheels spin backwards so fast that it starts to look like it's spinning forward, you know what I'm saying, like when you looking at cars, you know, on the E-way and the fucking tire be spinning so fast like it's spinning backwards, that's when, you know what I'm saying, Smith, it ain't a negative energy, no, it's not a negative connotation on no more. You see the irony in it, you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of where writers understand this, and that like, if you a writer, you see, you understand. That's why you make a good villain. You see what I'm saying? Because you understand how the villain moves. You understand how the exact shit of Smith makes is the exact essence of a bad guy. It makes a perfect bad guy. You see what I'm saying? You fighting somebody you can't even see. You know what I'm saying? So when you when you a writer, you kind of the things that I'm talking to, like, man, a lot of stuff on my channel, man, it's really inspired for writers. And like, if you're not a writer, you really miss out on a lot of things about life. And that, like, you see Smith before it happened. You know, and that the thing about writers is they have a sick ass vocabulary because they write so much, and things move slower in their universe if they're writing out a path. So when real life plays out and you writing so much, you kind of start to see the parallels between what you write and in real life. You can write your own destiny. This is in it's a movie called Heavenly Creatures, I think it was called. They call that shit the fourth wall, not the fourth wall, the fourth world. I think it's called the fourth world, which was like a concept that was real popular back in the early 1910s, 1920s, which was like creating your own world and living in your own universe, basically. Like Walt Disney. When you see Walt Disney at Disney World, and you see literally Walt Disney standing next to Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Goofy, and like he's standing next to these cartoon characters. Well, these cartoon characters came out of his mind. Or like you see Matt Groening, the guy who created all them characters on The Simpsons, and he's actually standing next to, you know, people dressed up like The Simpsons. Or he's standing next to these characters. You see George Lucas, who created Star Wars, and he's standing next to all of the characters of Star Wars. Or you see Gene Roddenberry, the guy who made Star Trek, standing next to all of the characters of Star Trek. These are characters that came out of his mind, and he's physically standing next to them. So this is called the fourth world. You know what I'm saying? So when in the God, people who write begin to see in the fourth world, you know, the bad guys per se. Like if you know Star Wars, the bad guys kind of like Darth Vader, what's his name, Sidious, Count Dooku, all these bad guys. You know what I'm saying? You know how they operate. You know that the shit they own. You see what I'm saying? And it's the same shit when you're dealing with Smith, and they're like, you know, Smith gonna come at you every day. So, you know, if you was writing a diary per se, or if you was back in the day, if you was writing the hieroglyphics, and every day you was writing down how your story went, and you would draw, okay, every day the sun, you would draw the sun maybe coming up, and you would draw yourself, like you would draw like me, you would say walking through the lake to go hunting, or like whatever it is, you met somebody, or you know what I'm saying, you found some new land or whatever, like you would kind of draw, you know, what it is that you did. And then, but like every day you would see Smith, like you know what I'm saying, like it would be the same motherfucker every day. So like if you had a whole calendar of 30 days and you drew like what happened every day. You know what I'm saying? And every day it was a bad guy. So you drew it at the same person. You drew Smith every time. Instead of drawing a different bad guy for every day, you drew the same motherfucker every time. It was Smith every time. So I'm saying, and then like somebody was just flipping through every day of your life, and it was flipping through page by page. And all of the energy that you was getting into, you just saw it all through one character with Smith. It was just the same bad guy on every fucking page. So I'm saying, you would start to see your life differently. And then like, okay, well, I wonder how Smith gonna come at this motherfucker tomorrow. And then like you kind of see the chronicles of you and Smith. Like, you see what I'm saying? This is original comedic shit. Like, this is the original mind of how shit used to break down back in the day before, you know, it was so many different personality types to distinguish that it was this many there's millions and millions of personality types. Back in the day, it was only really like fucking 10, maybe 20 different personality types. And then like you was trying to be that person. You was trying to strive to be that person. And you had Smith. Like, you see what I'm saying, who was basically zero, a set, you see what I'm saying, who was basically zero. So, every day, Asar would fight Set, you see what I'm saying, and he would die, and he would resurrect, and he would kill Set, you see what I'm saying. This is an ancient belief that used to happen every fucking day. It was the rising of the sun and the setting of the sun. It used to play out in this drama, you know what I'm saying, and Set used to come at Asar in like so many different fucking ways, and that like it was a million ways he came at this nigga. And then like the original story, you know what I'm saying, Asar used to get in his boat, and he was moving across the boat. He said, roll, roll, roll your boat gently down the stream, merrily, 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 life is but a dream. But that concept came from Asar on a boat floating through the water, which is like the consciousness of the planet. You see what I'm saying? And as he's floating on the water, you know what I'm saying, it's a fucking Set basically is in the water, and he's swimming under the water, you know what I'm saying, like a snake. And as he comes up from underneath the water, he takes multiple forms, kind of like Smith. And then like he had the ability to take multiple forms, and he would do all type of, this is what they call in the Matrix the woman in the red dress. You see what I'm saying? Like when Morpheus asked me, he said, man, you listen to me, you looking at the woman in the red dress. And that's kind of the same concept of what the comedics was describing with Asar in his boat. Is that like he's walking through life, moving forward, but then all of a sudden, out the corner of his eye, he see a chick with a red dress on. He sees something that grabs his attention, and he gets distracted. And while he's distracted, now he's off his path. You see what I'm saying? He's no longer on his path. Now he's on her path. So it's like you wake up every morning with a path, with a plan. You know, that's why you got a calendar. You say, okay, today I'm gonna do this. But as you go to do this, something's gonna come along and throw you off your path. It's a woman in a red dress, or in this case, what we call in comedics, we call it the Set coming from underneath the water and taking multiple forms to distract Asar, to throw him off his path and eventually kill him. You know what I'm saying? So when Set takes form, he takes form according to the things he know that Set like Poe called it. He say they know your chart basically. Same thing, like, you know, if I know you are Cancer, I'm gonna come at your emotions. Or if I know you a motherfucking Taurus, I'm gonna come at your money. Like, you see what I'm saying? So you know, you driving in your car, or you moving through life, and you know, so all of a sudden you hear, hey, you want to win $5,000? You know what I'm saying? And you a Taurus, that's gonna kind of pull on your ear a little bit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or if you say some shit like hey, do you want to find out if your spouse is cheating on you? You know what I'm saying? If you a Cancer, that's gonna pull you in. Like, you don't know that's Smith. Like, man, hold on. Like, you woke up this morning trying to go do some whole other shit, but just that quick, you know what I'm saying, through a suggestion of Smith, now you trying to find out how you gonna win this $5,000. Or now you trying to find out if your man's cheating on you. Like, Facebook is literally full of Smith. It's Smith everywhere, and then like everything is literally making the decision to turn into Smith. It's like making a decision to distract yourself. You know what I'm saying? So like, cause you wake up in the morning, but okay, what was I supposed to do? That's why everybody's fucking calendar be empty as hell. Like 90% of people calendar, you look at this shit, it's nothing. It's like just month after month, blank box after blank box after blank box. Cause Facebook has literally like absorbed that entire ability of time traveling. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even wake up in the morning and think like, okay, like I got these goals to do today, and I got this to do tomorrow, and I get like most people, like, we moving further and further into an age of like, well, that shit is just dead. You know what I'm saying? So they keeping us in a state of distraction. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what They Live was about. You know what I'm saying? Keeping us asleep, keeping us, you know what I'm saying, looking left and right instead of up. You know what I mean? Left, right, and down instead of up. You know what I'm saying? Keeping us in lower vibration conversation. You know what I'm saying? You think about the shit that gets the most amount of hits, the shit about, you know what I'm saying, the shit that gets the most amount of views. This fucking shit designed to keep you at a lower vibration. This shit that's designed to, you know what I'm saying, basically entertain you. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of also too on my channel, even sounding where I sound fucking borderline. Like 90% of the time you watch my channel, you don't even know. Like, man, is this motherfucker fucking all the way asleep, or is this motherfucker all the way crazy? Like, you don't even know. And that, like, motherfuckers know I'm highly evolved in studying this shit. But at the same time, you come across my channel, I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, every fucking 30 seconds, you can't tell if I'm woke or asleep. And then, like, I gotta embellish the fucking consciousness with stupid shit just to at least get motherfuckers' attention to even, I gotta put Smith into the motherfucker, like, so that's why I write, that's why I make film, that's why you watch the reality show, you know what I'm saying, or you people who make movies, they make really good movies because they understand Smith, they've seen Smith come at motherfuckers in so many different ways, and you know what I'm saying, you to the point you start to develop what's called a bulletproof vest, and they're like, you know what I'm saying, writers are really good at this, and that, like, they have a lot of, you know what I'm saying, if you write, especially you understand metaphysics, you become such a much more better writer. You know what I'm saying? So you know Smith. You know how Smith gonna come at you before he even come at you. You know what I'm saying? This is very fucking essential shit to know. You know, and if you got a spouse who don't know this shit, you see what I'm saying? That's gonna kind of wish that you didn't even know this shit. You see what I'm saying? That, you know what I'm saying, your spouse can become the worst agent in the fucking world, like your family and shit like that. This is what we call sacred agents. You see what I'm saying? And that, like, you know, the biggest notion of knowing this information is that you're gonna be able to tell this shit to a motherfucker, and they're gonna be able to move through the matrix with you, and you're gonna be having these conversations that's going to, you know what I'm saying, make both of y'all be able to move together down this path. But you gotta remember, man, when you die, it's only one motherfucker getting in that coffin, and that's you. And when you watch the Matrix, that shit is called Neo, which means the one, and he is the one. There is not no two, there is not no 1.5, you know what I'm saying, not even your kids. This is meant for you. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the most difficult and heaviest concepts to understand about Smith, and that, like, your worst, and you always gonna be your worst enemy. You see what I'm saying? The person that's gonna be the most hard to you to anybody is a motherfucker looking right across the mirror from your ass. You see what I'm saying? And even if your spouse or your you know what I'm saying, your family, you know what I'm saying, even if they do know Smith and they master this concept, it's still gonna be incident. You know what I'm saying? We got a concept called the program still running. You motherfucker, just because you know Smith, just because you know this shit, don't mean that it's gonna stop. Yeah, it'll avoid a lot of situations, but you gotta remember, man, Smith is ruthless, and that, like, this is not a get out of jail free card. Like, you know what I'm saying? You still gonna run into problems, even when you do got a bulletproof vest on. You see what I'm saying? So, like, you can't really blame your family, your spouse. You can't really be mad at them for not, you know what I'm saying, for you not knowing this shit, or I mean, for them not knowing this shit, or not being able to, you know what I'm saying, embrace the culture that you trying to put onto them. You know what I'm saying? Because this is for you. So, you know what I'm saying, even if they did know, you still gonna be going through bullshit anyway. So just remember that, you know, your family, you know what I'm saying, when Smith jump in your family, some shit like that, if they not listening, you know what I'm saying, remember that, like, hey, it's designed to keep you on your toes. You see what I'm saying? Even if they was woke, you still have to be on your square. It don't matter. You see, it will come at you in a whole different form. You see what I'm saying? So, like, Smith's gonna come at you some way. You know what I'm saying? So even if you do, like I said, he come at you in your family or some shit like that, just know that, like, even if you want to come at you like this, he come at you in a whole different way. So, like, don't look at it like, why me? Don't look at it like, oh man, I wish the people around me wake up because then things will be better. It's like, no, it won't be better. That's just like a motherfucker who date interracial. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you like, okay, well, I'm fucking white, I'm gonna date black women, or I'm a black man, I'm gonna date white women, some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm a black woman, I date white men. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Spanish woman, I only date white men, type shit. Like, you better believe that, like, you know what I'm saying, if you are fucking white, you know what I'm saying, white men are sick of white women just as much as black men are sick of black women, and they're like dating across the other race does not alleviate the problems that you're still gonna go through by, you know what I'm saying, by getting in a relationship just because you dating somebody outside race. It's like, motherfucker, you still gonna have problems. You see what I'm saying? So don't look at your problems too intrinsically when you're dealing with Smith. You know what I'm saying? That take years to understand that concept. You know what I'm saying? And then like Smith is designed to turn into a white shadow. It's designed really to help you. You see what I'm saying? So like, don't look at, you know what I'm saying, you got a brother or your spouse or somebody that got Smith like every day. They doing the same dumb shit every day. Like, there's a reason specifically that you going through this. You know what I'm saying? Even though you don't see it right now from a three-dimensional standpoint, it's there really to, you know what I'm saying, this just time freezes when you know this shit. You gotta remember that like time ain't going nowhere. And that like when you know Smith, time really like eventually like time really slow all like way the fuck down. You know what I'm saying? And then but it seems like it's still moving faster at the normal pace. And it is. Like, trust me, like time moves fast as fuck. But like when you know this, it's gonna slow time way the fuck down. So you kinda you putting a lot, beware of the pressure that you put on people, and they're like, man, it take years. It's level to this, like me Mill say, man, it's level to this shit. It take years to, you know what I'm saying, develop a good eye to deal with Smith and see shit before it happened and get a real clairvoyant sense of people's lower self triggers, especially on their zodiac and their elements and shit like that. It's very practical. You know what I'm saying? It's a situation by situation basis. You know what I'm saying? So don't get too caught up in your own situation. You still got to know how to step outside of your own situation even after you see this. It's literally a fucking tesseract. It's like tesseract. It's like a fucking dimension inside of another dimension. You know what I'm saying? But I want to show y'all this clip too. Let you sit there real quick, and I'm gonna roll up real quick. But while I'm rolling up, I want to show y'all this clip. I don't believe this is too long. And then if y'all got any questions, you know what I'm saying, just throw it in the chat. But I'm gonna play this clip, and then I'm gonna answer any questions y'all got, and I'm probably gonna wrap this up. But this is some essential shit, my friend. My friend. There we go. My friend. Be right back. Okay, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Apparently Smith has jumped in the goddamn computer.
They're in a boat with a number of divine personages. It's that boat that will eventually take...
Can y'all hear that? Okay, fuck it. I'm gonna do like this. Let's do it like this. Let's do this like this. Smith all in the goddamn computer. Let's try it like this. fucking serious? Alright, well, don't look like we'll have a video on that because we ain't got no fucking audio. This shit was just playing too, that's what's so nuts. But, supposed to be dealing with Smith.
They're in a boat with a number of divine personages. It's that boat that will eventually take the king, in different forms of that boat, that will take the king through the 12 stages or the 12 hours of the night.
The symbolism of a boat on the water demonstrates the consciousness being led through our mysterious interaction with the flow of time, through the landscape of the duat. Through the hours of the night towards its conclusion, a new dawn and a new day. Here, the constant flow of time is symbolized as a river, which gently, inexorably leads the inhabitants of the boat through the stages of transformation.
The Christian conception of hell with all its demons and its hellfire is in all likelihood derived from the Egyptian, but the Egyptian didn't revel in all the details of the smell of the roasting flesh and the pain of the hacked bodies. Rather, they were expressing, basically what the Egyptians were doing was declaring that the souls of those who hadn't done their inner work, or who obstructed those who were trying to do their inner work, ended up in oblivion. In other words, their names, their identities were obliterated. They weren't consigned to the roasting flames of hell forever, but rather non-existence was considered punishment enough.
What is this having a picnic shit in my car, man?
Please, man. I'm not getting my sex at home. Don't deny me this.
What are you talking about? You sleep with a beautiful woman every night.
I'm married. That's what married means. It means you sleep together, but you can't get none.
Why don't you watch it with all that shit, all right?
Hey, look. Where's your cup holders?
I don't have one.
You mean you don't have one? $80,000 for this car and you ain't got no damn cup holder?
It's $105,000, and this happens to be one of the fastest production cars on the planet. 0 to 16 in 4 seconds, sweetie. This is a limited edition.
You damn right it's limited. No cup holder, no
When
back
you watch
seat.
this scene,
It's
you know
a
what I'm
shiny
saying?
dick with 2 chairs in it. I guess
You know,
we the
Mark
balls
Lawrence'
just
character
dragged the
drops
fuck
these
along.
fries
Oh, damn.
right there, which is symbolic of Smith. You know what I'm saying? Now he had to pull over. This is what I was talking about before. Like, they were on a path, but
Get it. If you see, I can't get down there. You got an engine.
now they on a whole different path. This is Smith. This is literally Smith.
Titty, strutty. Come on it.
You know what? I ain't your wife to be cleaning up after your little filthy
You watch
ass.
my hand, okay? My shit can't get down there. And when it does, it gets stuck. Now, what do you come up with? You got this shit.
Nah, you gonna get that fry.
Listen,
This ain't no
my ass.
goddamn Denny's. Don't eating in my...
I wouldn't be buying no shit from Denny's anyway. I don't like the way we've been treated. It's Denny's food. Yeah, you ain't interested in the damn fry. You all up in that.
Get out of the car, man.
Shit. The fuck?
Me and my team, we've had a big week, so just get the fuck out of the car.
Damn. What are you weighing, 350? I bet you a big Popeye chicken eating motherfucker, ain't you?
Hey.
Get the fuck
I
out.
always got to get the big, thick motherfuckers. The car now. All right. Okay.
Let your weight.
All right, hold on.
Now, this is some funny
Shut
shit.
up.
Let me tell you how bad a day you're having. Right now, you're jacking a couple cops.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm a stand-up comedian.
And I suck.
That's why I need your car.
Hey, look, now I ain't no Wesley Snipes. I just hang out with stupid-ass friends that drive stupid-ass cars that attract a lot of motherfucking attention.
You know what? I need to jump over this car and smack you in your peasy ass head. That's what I need to do.
Bro, you know what? You're arguing over motherfucking French
It's not
fries.
about the
It's a
French
fry,
fries. It's
man.
about your lack of respect for other people's property.
Hey.
Shut the fuck up.
That shit is stupid.
Shut up. Hold the fuck on. All right, now, you want something bad enough? Come get some. You like that shit? Wesley Snipes, passenger
So, see how they
57.
use the
Now
distraction.
give me a motherfucking handy wipe.
Let's hear one of those jokes, bitch.
To do the same shit, you see what I'm saying? And you also see too how they use the female. They use the female to distract them too, you know what I'm saying? And A lot of times females, like Poe say they use women as portals. You know what I'm saying? Smith can use women as portals. That's just kind of what you see here.
Come see why Black Incompetence
Yeah, saying that was as a motherfucker.
is our funniest weapon in the war on terror.
Is that guy drinking beer?
I don't know if you ever seen any of the Final Destination movie. If you ever seen the Final Destination movies, you know what I'm saying. But a lot of the themes in Final Destination are like not paying attention to shit, not paying attention to detail. You know what I'm saying. If you got the right eye, you a character in Final Destination, you gonna see the shit flip, or you gonna see that little warning before Smith do what he do. But a lot of times motherfuckers be sleep, and like that's basically what I'm trying to give you in this particular video. And they're like, there are no accidents. They said the same shit in the Matrix, right in the Smith scene. There are no accidents. You know what I'm saying? Everything happens according to plan. And Smith a lot of times is the architect.
There is something about yourself that you don't know. Something that you will deny even exists until it's too late to do anything about it. It's the only reason you get up in the morning. The only reason you suffer the shitty boss, the blood, the sweat, and the tears. This is because you want people to know how good, attractive, generous, funny, wild, and clever you really are. Fear or revere me, but please think I'm special. We share an addiction. We're approval junkies. We're all in it for the slap on the back and the gold watch. The hip hip who fucking raw. Look at the clever boy with the badge, polishing his trophy. Shine on, you crazy diamond. Because we're just monkeys, wrapped in suits, begging for the approval of others. If we knew this, we wouldn't do this. Someone is hiding it from us. And if you had a second chance, you would ask,
Why?
Why what?
Why am I still alive?
The Matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy. But when you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters. The very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on
I don't know if you notice how like Neo is bumping into everybody. Here we go.
Or were you looking at the woman in the red dress?
I was...
Look again. Freeze it.
This isn't the Matrix.
No. It's another training program designed to teach you one thing. If you are not one of us, you are one of them.
What are they?
Sentient programs. They can move in and out of any software still hardwired to their system. That means that anyone we haven't unplugged is potentially an agent. Inside the Matrix, they are everyone, and they are no one.
We have survived by hiding from them, by running from them. But they are the gatekeepers. They are guarding all the doors, they are holding all the keys, which means that sooner or later, someone is going to have to fight them.
Someone.
So
I won't lie to you.
they're basically showing you
Every
the same
single
shit
man
through
or
all
woman
these
who has stood
descriptions.
their
You know what I'm
ground.
saying? It's basically like the concept of the woman in the red dress being a distraction. Is you like he was moving on the path, they were moving straight, and they put something there to throw his. They showed you literally the same concept of what they showed you at the beginning, which was the guy in the boat. You know what I'm saying? I saw in his boat. You know what I'm saying? The thing I just told you of him moving down the path in the ocean and things coming up to distract him and take him off his path. This is you. This is how life moves through the flux of time when you walk. As you walk on a daily basis, you move forward. This is why horses have these things like this. I forget what they call it, like blinders. So horses can't even look to the left or right. You know what I'm saying? That they can only move forward. You know, and this is how you want to move through life on a daily basis. When you wake up, you want to move forward through your day. You don't want to be moving all over the place to the left and right. You want to move in one direction. So this is the scene from Adjustment Bureau. I was telling you about Adjustment Bureau. I don't know if, I think the sound might get off on this particular clip. I hope it don't, but I think it do. But like, see, this was the agent basically with Smith. He was supposed to be following him, who just got on the boat, which is Matt Damon's character. And he wasn't supposed to get on that boat. You know what I'm saying? So the agent was basically chasing the boat. I mean, chasing the bus. You know what I'm saying? To distract him, to get him off of the bus. But when he got on this bus, he met a woman, you know what I'm saying, that he had met the night before. You know what I'm saying? This whole encounter was never supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? And it was basically the agent's job to get him back on course. You know what I'm saying? They weren't, like I said, this whole thing was not even supposed to happen. They were not supposed to be on this bus together. He was not supposed to meet her. None of this. You know what I'm saying? So him right here, the agent, you know what I'm saying, basically spent the whole movie doing all type of Smith shit. Like they were sending people at him to distract him. They were closing doors before he could get to them. They were cars were blocking his path. They had like they were disconnecting phones. Literally, they tried everything they possibly could. Like, and you see them trying. They starting to do that in this scene. You see what I'm saying? Like his phone ringing, stuff like that.
Hello. It doesn't even work.
Could that ringer get any louder? Do you pretty much have that maxed out?
It's a new phone.
Are you gonna run again?
Don't know. I'm starting a new job today.
You have to run again. You can't do that. The country will end up being run by tools like Linfield.
Kinda is.
Oh, shit. Oh, sorry. What just happened?
Are you okay?
I'm fine. Can you hand me that?
You sure you're okay?
Yeah.
Here, I'll pay for the dry
No,
cleaning.
it's really fine. Please don't. Wow.
$7 will probably cover it.
You keep that. You might need it.
You know what? Here, you write your number down, and then I can call you and come pick up your skirt.